Assemble your project in the Camtasia.ai user interface, being careful to add the images one at a time in the order you want them to appear in your playlist. This particular playlist has 10 images. If you scrub the images, you'll see that there is voiceover script generated for each one. And you want to go through this and make sure that there's no errors that you don't want reproduced. Also, you might want to edit the text that's going to show up in the callouts. When finished with that process, generate your video. When the video is finished, go ahead and preview it. I'll just drag, scrub, and look. For me, I would probably want to edit some of this eye candy out of here. Also, these callouts are just too long for me, but that's a personal preference. Because I want to edit it, I would export the project as a zip file. If it looks fine the way it is, you can just go ahead and export it as an MP4. I'm going to go ahead and export the zip file. And I'll go look at it, and here's that file we just downloaded. I usually will rename it here. Next, I'll drag and drop that into an open instance of Camtasia and import it. At this point, I would make any edits to the project that I deem appropriate. As mentioned earlier, I would probably clean up this eye candy on the main scene clips and also clean up the callouts. I may or may not even get rid of the background music. I'm not sure it fits into this, but you want to get that done. And when you're finished, you can go ahead and export this directly to screencast.com. Now, I have a pro account, so after I export it, the pro account will automatically generate a transcript for voiceover purposes. So I'm going to go export, screencast. I don't care about the watermark. Okay, the video's loaded. I don't quite believe the transcript is ready yet, so we're going to pause this capture and wait for the transcript to get created. After a short wait, I refresh the view and note that the transcript is there. I'm going to click on that, scroll up, and I'm going to copy all of this to my clipboard. So we'll go like so, grab it all, Control-C, puts it on my clipboard. Then I'm going to jump over to an open instance of Notepad++, paste that transcript there. I have a couple of macros that I can use to clean this up automatically. I need to remove the time hacks and put all this into one paragraph. So we'll go run a macro. Got one called clean the transcript. I have to put the cursor at the top, and I can run this to the end of the file. As you can see, all the time hacks are removed. I'll send the cursor back to the top. I'll pick my next macro, which is called merge the text. Run that. I have to hit it a couple times. Each time I do, it's putting all these different lines into the paragraph. When that's finished, I'll close this, select everything, copy it to my clipboard, then in an instance of Microsoft Word, I'm going to paste that text there. What I'll do now is I want to match the phrases to what's in my project. So I'll play through each scene one at a time, and let's play the first one.
As soon as I woke up the next morning, I was ready to start my day.
Okay, and back in Word, I'll end that first phrase that way. We'll do another one.
I immediately went over to my potato cellar to plan my next moves carefully.
And back in Word, carefully. Off camera, I'm going to finish that process. I've finished that process, so I'm going to go through this, make any corrections. I want to change this here. I want to say I want to instead of wanna. So, and having done that, what I'm going to do is go back to Recorder, which I'm using right now, but let me open up Recorder 2024. What I would do is I would configure it to only capture system audio. I would normally, under Preferences, have this thing configured to open the editor so that the new captures go into the editor. I'll close that. Now, to get this text into a male voice, I would use Windows 11 voice typing, which is already open. And if you go to his options, I've selected a male voice. There's a female voice available. And essentially, you make a selection of one line, which is a phrase, going with one scene. And then with Recorder recording only system audio, you play that.
As soon as I woke up the next morning, I was ready to start my day.
And it stops at the end of a line you selected. You would then stop Recorder and name the clip. I would call it like oh 01 or something to match the scenes. And then you could use it in a project we're going to be working on in a few minutes. You would do that for each one of these lines, naming the recording a different number. I use 01, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I'll command a new project, Control N. Then I would download and import the MP4 that's on Screencast.com. With the single clip selected, go to Visual Properties and add clip speed to this guy. Now I would go through and locate where the scene changes to the next scene, right there. Pick the exact spot. Once it's picked, add a split. Select and then find the next one. Likewise, pick the exact spot, add a split, and so forth. I'm going to do the rest of these off camera. And I've also imported the audio clips that were system audio only of that narration that came out of Microsoft Word. What I'll do next is zoom a little bit so I can see my first scene here. Select my first audio clip, right click and add it to the timeline. And I'll trim the new audio so it looks decent. And in this particular case, notice that the new audio is longer than the original. Turn on magnetic tracks. And then you can open this and drag it out until they match. Select the original audio, go to your audio properties, and then silence the original audio. And let's play across that, see how she sounds.
As soon as I woke up the next morning, I was ready to start my day.
Okay, we got a nice male voice on the first scene. We'll do that again for the second scene. Second scene is this clip. Select it, right click, add it. Again, the clip needs to be trimmed. And it appears to be, it's longer than the original. So one more time, we'll open up so we can access our clip speed tool. Select it and kill the audio. Let's play that.
I immediately went over to my potato cellar to plan my next moves carefully.
Okay, off camera, I'm going to finish this process for the rest of these 10 scenes. Being sure to match the original video's duration to the new audio duration. At this point, I've finished adding all 10 little new voice narrations to the project. I've trimmed back the duration of each one of the scenes, and now let's play through and see how it sounds.
As soon as I woke up the next morning, I was ready to start my day. I immediately went over to my potato cellar to plan my next moves carefully. Today is the second day.
Okay, she sounded real good. At this point, I would go ahead and produce this as my final work product.